I don't know how to start this. Maybe I shouldn't start at all. Maybe this is just a waste of time, like everything else I ever did to make her happy. But maybe, if I pour this out, every piece of me that still has breath left, it might stop me from doing what I've been thinking about every night since she left. Or maybe it'll be the final goodbye. I met her when I had nothing. Not even dignity. I was working 2 jobs, one at a gas station on the outskirts of the city, the other delivering cheap food from a second-rate diner to people who barely looked me in the eye when they handed me a crumpled bill. I lived in a one-room basement that smelled like mold and dying dreams. I didn't have friends. Just noise in my ears and anxiety in my chest. And then, she walked in. Not into my apartment. Into the gas station. She had no business being there, not with how she looked. Like the kind of woman you see in movies, the kind that steps out of cars that cost more than my organs. She wasn't rich, I learned later. She just had presence. Like someone who knew the world owed her something, and would gladly wait to collect. She bought a pack of gum and smiled at me. That was it. A smile. But when your whole world is gray, even a crack of sunlight feels like fire. The next day she came in again. And the next. For a week. Until finally, I asked her name. Anna. Anna. The way it tasted in my mouth was embarrassing, sweet, dangerous. I told her my name. Daniel. And when she said it back, something in my stomach flipped like a dying fish. I don't remember how long it took to ask her out. A week. A month. She said yes like she expected me to. Like I was just playing the role I was meant to play. She made me feel worthy of her. She made me feel like I had value. We dated for a year. I worked like a madman to keep up with her lifestyle. Not because she demanded it, but because I thought she would leave if I didn't. I got a third job. I stopped sleeping. I saved every cent. She never asked for gifts, but I gave them anyway. Perfume. Jewelry. A weekend trip to the lake. All on money I didn't really have. I wanted her to know she was the center of my life. She moved in. I gave her my room. I took the couch. I said it was temporary. It wasn't. But I didn't care. I'd never felt closer to anyone in my life. She told me things no one else ever had. That her mother died when she was 9. That she hated being vulnerable. That she used to starve herself because she thought love only came in size 0. She told me she felt safe with me. I believed her. I asked her to marry me in the parking lot of a supermarket. Not romantic, I know. But I'd just gotten a promotion at a warehouse job and had bought the cheapest ring that wouldn't turn her finger green. I didn't even kneel. I just took her hand and said, I want to be your forever. She said yes. It was the best moment of my life. We got married in a courthouse with 2 witnesses, her cousin and my coworker. I wore a suit that didn't fit. She wore a white dress from a thrift store. It didn't matter. She cried when we said our vows. And when she kissed me, I believed, for the first time in my life, that I could be happy. Things got better. I found a full-time job with benefits. I quit the gas station and the diner. We moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment. We painted the walls ourselves, made coffee in the mornings together, danced in the kitchen to old songs from the 90s. She got a job as a receptionist, started going to yoga, got herself a group of friends. We laughed. We made love. We grew. Then, the baby came. It wasn't planned, but when she showed me the test, I cried. She was nervous, but I told her we'd be okay. I took on overtime. I learned how to install car seats, how to mix formula, how to swaddle a screaming infant. When our daughter was born, I held her against my chest and promised I'd never leave her. That I'd never be the kind of man who disappeared. We named her Lila. For 3 years, I thought I was living a dream. We'd fight, sure. She said I wasn't romantic anymore. That I worked too much. That I didn't listen. But I was tired, always. Still, I tried. I brought her flowers. Booked her a massage. Took Lila to the park so she could nap. But something changed. I'd catch her smiling at her phone, then locking it quickly. She started going out more. Said she needed space. Said being a mom was suffocating. I told her I understood. I didn't. But I said I did. I stayed up with the baby while she disappeared for hours. I found the messages by accident. A man's name I didn't recognize. Dozens of messages. Late night texts. I miss you. When can I see you again? Last night was perfect. I sat on the bathroom floor holding her phone like it was a bomb. My heart beat so loud I could barely hear myself think. She was sleeping in our bed, just a room away. I didn't confront her that night. I couldn't. I rocked back and forth until the sun came up. When I asked her, she didn't deny it. She looked bored. Like she was tired of pretending. She said, Daniel, we're not happy. You work. I raise a kid. We're just roommates. I asked her if she loved him. She didn't answer. That told me everything. She moved out 2 weeks later. Lila stayed with me half the time. The rest, she was with Anna and him. I couldn't say his name without vomiting in my mouth. I started drinking. Then stopped when I found myself yelling at nothing with a bottle in my hand while Lila stared at me with tears in her eyes. I started therapy. Didn't help. Nothing helped. I saw Anna a month ago at the grocery store. She looked radiant. Her hand was in his. He looked like a Ken doll. Smooth skin. Nice jaw. Dead eyes. She glanced at me like I was the past she'd rather forget. I went home and stared at the ceiling until the sun came up again. That was the night I started thinking about ending it. Not dramatically. Not with letters and candles. Just, quietly. I didn't want to hurt anymore. I didn't want to feel like an empty house. I didn't want to wonder if anything I gave ever mattered. But Lila. She's the only reason I haven't done it. She says, I love you, Daddy, with the same eyes Anna used to look at me with. Sometimes I wonder if she'll grow up to hate me, like Anna did. If she'll see through the cracks and realize I'm nothing. But then, yesterday, she drew a picture. Crayons on printer paper. A stick figure of me, holding her hand. Underneath, it said, me and Daddy. Forever. I broke. I sat on the floor and cried for hours. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to be okay. I don't know if I'll ever feel whole again. But maybe, I still have a reason to stay. If you're listening to this, if you've gotten this far, thank you. This was my story. Maybe you've been through something like it. Maybe you're on the edge too. But I want to tell you this. Even when it feels like everything is gone, something, someone, might still be holding your hand in a crayon drawing. And maybe, that's enough. Thank you for watching. Subscribe so you don't lose it, and write your story in the comments.